The Shadowy Figure spooky story. In the quiet town of Raven's Hollow, nestled between mist-shrouded mountains and ancient forests, there stood an old, sprawling mansion known as Blackwood Manor. Its darkened windows and ivy-covered walls gave it an air of foreboding, earning it a reputation as the most haunted house in the region. Locals spoke in hushed tones of a shadowy figure that prowled its halls at night. The tale began decades ago, when the Blackwood family, once esteemed in the town, fell from grace in a tragic turn of events. Elias Blackwood, the patriarch, was a recluse rumored to dabble in the occult. One fateful night, a storm of unparalleled fury descended upon Raven's Hollow, casting the mansion into darkness. The townsfolk never saw the Blackwoods again, but they claimed to have glimpsed a shadowy figure that moved like a wraith through the night. Its presence felt more keenly than seen. Some said it was Elias, still searching for something lost in the storm. Others believed it to be something more sinister, a malevolent spirit bound to the mansion. Years passed, and the legend of the shadowy figure grew, passed down through generations. It was said that on the anniversary of the storm, the figure would return, its form barely discernible in the pitch-black night. Brave souls would gather outside the mansion, hoping to catch a glimpse of the elusive phantom. One such anniversary arrived on a moonless night, when the wind whispered through the trees like the breath of restless spirits. A group of adventurous teenagers, led by Emily, a young woman with an insatiable curiosity, decided to test the legend. Armed with flashlights and trepidation, they set out towards Blackwood Manor. As they approached, the air grew heavy with an oppressive stillness, broken only by the distant cry of a lone owl. The mansion loomed before them, its windows like vacant eyes, its walls seeming to absorb the feeble light of their flashlights. They hesitated at the edge of the overgrown garden, the weight of the legend pressing upon them. Emily, fueled by equal parts fear and fascination, led the way, her flashlight's beam cutting through the darkness. They moved through the mansion's once grand halls, now draped in silence and decay. The air grew colder, and an unearthly chill settled over them. Suddenly, a soft, disembodied whisper danced through the air, barely audible yet undeniably present. The teenagers froze, their breaths catching in their throats. They strained to hear, their hearts pounding in their chests. The whispers seemed to come from all directions, swirling around them like a spectral symphony. They followed the haunting whispers, winding their way through the labyrinthine corridors. Each step echoed through the empty halls, the sound mingling with the ethereal voices. The words were indistinct, like the faint echoes of a long-forgotten conversation. As they explored deeper into the mansion, they stumbled upon a forgotten library, its shelves lined with dusty, tattered books. In the flickering light of their flashlights, they saw a journal, its pages yellowed with age. It was the diary of Elias Blackwood, filled with cryptic musings and arcane symbols. As Emily flipped through the pages, the whispers seemed to grow louder, more urgent. The words in the diary spoke of dark rituals and forbidden knowledge. It told of a desperate attempt to harness the power of the storm, an experiment gone horribly wrong. Suddenly, a shadowy figure materialized in the corner of the room. A silhouette in the shape of a man, its features obscured by darkness. It stood motionless, its presence exuding a palpable sense of malevolence. The teenagers, paralyzed with terror, watched as the figure advanced towards them. They could feel its gaze upon them, a cold, penetrating stare that seemed to pierce their very souls. Without warning, it dissipated, fading into the shadows as mysteriously as it had appeared. With hearts pounding, the friends fled the mansion, leaving behind the whispers and the diary. They knew they had witnessed something beyond their understanding, something that defied explanation. The shadowy figure of Blackwood Manor was no mere legend. It was a chilling reality that would forever haunt their memories. From that night on, The teenagers vowed never to return to the haunted mansion. They had glimpsed the supernatural, and it had left an indelible mark on their souls. The legend lived on, a warning to all who dared to challenge the ancient forces that dwelled within the walls of Blackwood Manor.